Okay, we've cut everything out with our Cricut. Here is our chipboard cut out in the mermaid tail shape that we needed. As you can see, we flip it over. We're going to put paper on both sides. Speaking of the paper, here is the mermaid scales paper I was telling you about. Now, as it's been several years since I bought it, I am not sure where I got it from. But I imagine your local craft store would have something similar, or you could use a digital paper and do a print and cut design. Now, for assembly, we're going to assemble our cupcake wrapper first. Here we have our little mermaid tails and shells and starfish. And of course, assembly is super easy. We're just going to insert the tab into the slot and then put our cupcake in there. If I had a cupcake right now, I would go ahead and show you. But if I had a cupcake, I would probably eat it right now. So we'll hold off on that. So we have that done. Next, we're going to go ahead and assemble our little topper for the cupcakes. And of course, you can cut out as many of these as you need, depending on how many cupcakes you're making. For the sake of this tutorial, I am just doing one of everything to show you. So we have our toothpick. You can also use, in the candy crafting section by the Candy Melts, they have little lollipop sticks that you can get for use with the lollipop candy molds. Those work also really well if you don't want to use toothpicks, but toothpicks are easy to come by and cheap, so they're used in a lot of different crafts. So what we're going to do is we have some Elmer's Craft Bond. This is my preferred glue when I'm working with paper craft, but if you have a different glue that you would like to use, you can do that as well. And we're just going to glue the little edges together, and we're going to leave this bottom part open. So we kind of make like a little pouch almost. So it's sealed on these sides, but we're going to leave that open. So let's go ahead and get our glue. You can use a paintbrush to spread it around. You can use your finger. I have several toothpicks with me right now, so I'm just going to use one of those to kind of spread it around the edges so we get it where we need it. You can also use the applicator tip on your glue bottle. And remember, we're only going to do just like leave that little bit open right there. Let me spread some of that around. Okay, so now, since that's flipped over, we're going to take our other, and we're just going to, now this does dry relatively quickly, but it has a little bit of play for adjusting. So we're going to go ahead and make sure that we have that lined up. Perfect. And then once that is dry all of the way, you can either just stick the toothpick up the middle like that, or you can also insert a little bit of glue to help that stick even better. You're going to want to make sure that you let it dry first. So we're going to go ahead and set that to the side. And then assembly is pretty much the same for our bonus cake topper. Now what I suggest doing, since this is such a large piece and we want to make sure that we get the paper on properly, is just starting just with a little bit of glue at the bottom and get it positioned the way we want it. Let it dry for a minute and then do a little bit more glue. Get it positioned the way we want it. Let it dry, a little bit more glue. Because you want to make sure that you have your edges lined up properly. Again, with this particular glue, it doesn't dry as fast as, say, a permanent tape runner. So if you use a permanent tape runner, there's zero adjustment available. But see, you can still move it around a little bit just to make sure that you've got it where you need it and where you want it, so it's all lined up. So just repeat the process. Let that, go ahead and dry for a minute, and then do a little bit more glue. Dry for a minute, a little bit more glue.